Roots to Roots welcomes you all to this special summer spa class. A much needed session, we thought, on self care in the summer for our educators and senior students. I would like to welcome all our esteemed principals, teachers, and students who have joined us today in this class, which is something special and something meaningful for everyone. Yes, we have some exciting gift hampers to give away at the end of the session and a professional diploma course worth rupees 1 lakh is also to be won by a lucky participant. But that is all going to be later in the class. Let's begin. Roots to Roots has been doing pioneering work in revolutionizing education with its cultural education program. In its 2-decade journey of mounting large-scale concerts, theatre and film festivals, exhibitions, and student exchange programs, the NGO has also become the first ever and only cultural NGO to be listed on the SSE of the National Stock Exchange. Its flagship digital education program has been recognized by Limca Book of Records as the largest running cultural education program in the world, through which it impacts crores of school-going children across the country. Besides its high-definition digital cultural classes in 16 disciplines of performing arts conducted by leading exponents of art forms, the NGO has also installed LEDs and interactive flat panels with K-12 content in schools in the remotest parts of our country to facilitate modern education techniques to students in lower and middle class schools in every district of India. As part of the cultural education program, we also aim to engage and benefit our educators who add a lot of might and a lot of strength to our program, making it more meaningful. We, in turn, come up with initiatives every now and then to integrate our educators in unique and powerful ways. So, today's class is just that. A little bit of fun and a little bit of gyan for our esteemed teachers who impart gyan to the young students of our country. Today, we have here with us leaders and pioneers of the herbal beauty industry to talk to you. I'm extremely pleased to welcome Neelofar Currimbhoy, who's here with us today. Neelofar is the president of the Shahnaz Husain Group of Companies and the illustrious daughter of Shahnaz Husain. Neelofar Currimbhoy's special interest and passion within the company remains in the area of research and development, which she spearheads. Trained in UK, her ability to create beauty formulations and sensing the pulse of the consumer is her unique strength, and it has driven her to create best-selling products by combining ingredients used by indigenous people with modern techniques to create the finest in herbal beauty. Neelofar ji is also a prolific writer and has authored a book called Flame on her mother's life. Joining her today are Mukta, Neha, and Archana, who will be assisting her in today's session. Before we start the session with Neelofar ji, I would like to draw your attention to a brief presentation, The Legacy of Shahnaz Husain.
The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all their piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash out a word of it. So I, Neelofar Currimbhoy, dedicate this book on my mother's life to the memory of my father and set it free to the world. Thanks, Mum, for living out the story of my book. If in life we are to be judged by what we make of ourselves, we must also acknowledge that there is another side to us, where we live our lives with the genes we inherit. My grandfather Nasirullah Beg was the son of the Chief Justice of Hyderabad, and my grandmother Saida Begum was the daughter of the Commander-in-Chief of the Hyderabad Army, the third successive generation to hold that position. The wedding of my grandparents was the result of an alliance between the two leading families of Hyderabad, arranged personally by the Nizam. I remember it as though it was yesterday, an image etched clearly in my mind. My mother standing in front of the dresser, adjusting the large three-piece mirror to see the back of her hairdo. The oval mirror with scalloped edges is a hand-me-down from her mother. I can even remember my grandmother's face gazing into it when I was very young. This is the story of my mother who was born a flame so bright that not all of life's storms could douse a single spark of her intensely free spirit. Every time a wave splashed on her, she rose again with an irrepressible energy. At 16, my mother made a beautiful bride. On her forehead she wore her grandmother's tikka like a blessing, a family heirloom that years later I wore on my wedding day too. You know, Mom, without being aware, I think I looked just like you. It was a love as young as innocence. He was the wind beneath her wings. If she flew high, it was because often she caught the gale force of his strength. Let me take you through this place where history was made and dreams came true while the paint still smelt fresh. It was just a moment in time. The neighbors and passers-by barely noticed the frosted glass signage that read Shahnaz Husain, go up. Then the doors opened and the world spilled in. Having been the person closest to her and having walked the journey with her, if I were asked what the single most important catalyst in her success is, I would quote her personal mantra, I don't believe in destiny. You are what you will yourself to be. This is a line she quotes and lives her life by. Her resolute disbelief in the concept of Kismet, a constant struggle with it, is the basis of her life and always will be. My mother does not just live life, she defies it. The overarching Indianness of her career vision was obvious, and when put to the final test, it was clear that it was non-negotiable. President Obama is present in person to honor and appreciate the best and the brightest entrepreneurs of the world. The representative from India, a glamorous-looking lady, is a stark, stunning contrast in the state atmosphere. She represents the ability of her country to allow its citizens that freedom and opportunity. President Obama continues, I want to thank you for being part of this historic event. You're visionaries who have pioneered new industries. When time overlaps time, there is a confluence of ideas, a boundless flow of creativity. When 3 generations work together in a business, the result is a fine blend of thoughts, ambition, advice, and experience. That afternoon when I entered the living room at Portman Square, it was washed by the light of the fading sun. I remember her sitting very still on the first sofa. The moment frozen in time, the painting now hangs in my mother's home, and I can almost hear M.F. Husain's voice saying, Sit still, Shahnaz, I want to bring out your essence. Playfulness is very serious business for my mum. She loves life with a passion that makes every moment tick twice. And then, suddenly, there was silence. But as destiny played out, you smiled and smiled again. Write a book on me, Neelofar, she had said to the hissing of the coffee machine in Barista. Well, I did, Mum. I sat down to write a book on you, but it turned out to be much more than just a book. It has turned out to be a treasure of timeless memories. Some good, some bad. It is a story of your dreams and a testament to your struggle. A record of a life lived with love, heartbreak, passion, and above all, with unwavering faith. Tomorrow, if things change, when things change, this much will still be true. My promise kept to you, dear Mum.
That was the presentation. We will shortly also have Shahnaz Husain ji herself in the studio with us to talk to you. But now, I hand over the mic to Neelofar Currimbhoy to conduct a session with you.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to connect to so many educationalists. I think you're doing the most amazing job by getting across to the next generation. Thank Mrs. Tina Vachani and Roots to Roots for all the work they're doing to get across music and culture all over the country. I think it's an amazing blend today of technology being used to bring the past. The musicians, the singers and dancers that Tina is bringing to the schools must be amazing, I'm sure. A little anecdote. I have great appreciation for people who are giving education. I myself was so fond of teaching that my mother first gave me the job of taking care of our beauty schools, and I was a lecturer there. So much for my love for teaching. So I will start really by what is relevant to you, and that is beauty for working women. I think working women need a very special kind of beauty plan. You leave the house in the mornings, sometimes using public transport or whatever way, taking the heat, the sun, and the elements, and spending then many hours working. And the important thing is that at the end of the day, you should be also looking good. So I have worked out something for you by way of advice. One thing I would like to say is that in today's environment, even though we have a chain of salons all over India, it's lovely if you become your own beauty expert. Of course, there are things which you cannot handle at home, and we wouldn't advise you to. But it's very nice if you start addressing and handling small beauty issues for yourself in your own home. So if you create a small area which is like like your personal beauty salon, in which you have a few bowls, a few of your lotions, and somewhere where there's even maybe a reclining chair to relax, it is a good idea for you to be able to handle your beauty issues, because that's the only way you can look the way you want to, because you can't always rush down to a salon. So being your own beauty expert means knowing your own skin, knowing your own hair, and learning how to do some basic things that will make you feel better. Because I think looking better has one big important aspect. You feel much better. I think the confidence that looking good brings is very, very important. So I would like to start with the fact that you can start by treating your skin at home. I will start with dry skins, because I think that is the most common problem that we all face. And the good news is that I'm going to be giving you all a lot of home remedies. So get your paper and pens together so that you can note down things that you can do for yourself in the house. So basically, when we talk about dry skin, we will start with a process. Now, dry can be combination or normal, and the treatment would be more or less the same. Unless you have acne, basically the program is the same. You start with cleansing, but remember that cleansing and drying up, there's a very fine line between cleansing the skin and removing the natural oils of the skin. So do not use a soap. Do not use warm water on your skin. A great way to cleanse your face would be to apply a little bit of coconut oil or olive oil and wipe your skin. And then you could just splash some cold water, because people, if you don't use soap, it doesn't mean you don't use water, but using chlorinated water is not a good idea. If you use a bottle of filter water, which you take for RO water, that is much better, because if it removes some impurities which should not go into your body, there is no harm in using that for your face. So a bottle of RO water and a good thing of coconut oil applied on the face, wiped off well, or olive oil works very well as a cleanser. The next thing we come to is something important I would like to tell you is that do make sure that अपने फेस पे जैसे आप रुई लगा रही हैं किसी चीज के लिए, पावर ऑफ कॉटन absorbs, right? So if something is going to be absorbing, then when you put it on your skin, it will start taking in the natural oils from your face. So people who use a little bit of cream and dry cotton on their face really take off all the natural oils. So it's very important कि आप रुई को पहले गीला करें and then wipe your skin with it, with a moist cotton. That's your cleanser. Then you can tone your skin. For that, what I would advise is some rose water, some cold rose water, that works well. Please write down the recipe, which you shall enjoy making, I'm sure. Dip just a handful of rose petals at night in a small bowl of water and leave it in the refrigerator. In the morning, drain out the leaves and use this as your toner after cleansing. This makes an excellent rose water tonic or toner for your face after washing. Exfoliation is important. Exfoliation is, आजकल जैसे scrubs बहुत निकले हुए हैं. There are different kinds of scrubs. They don't need to be used more than twice a week. There are a lot of them in the market, but of course they have whatever chemicals and different kinds of ingredients. You can use oats with milk and rub it into your skin. Oats and milk make a wonderful scrub for the skin, which can be done twice a week. There is no need to scrub your face every day, but one of the basic things about aging is that you need to, the layers must be removed frequently, so that your fresher skin is, your activity is accelerated. So it's very important that you exfoliate at least twice a week. I can't emphasize the importance of moisturizer enough. There is nothing more important, not even your night cream. Aajkal night creams are very expensive, but nothing is more important than moisturizer. So please make sure that you use a good moisturizer every day. Just choose any brand that's in the market. You have to then go out and discover what suits you the best. And some people say, oh, humko moisturizer, because we get a lot of clients, lot of feedback. I get a lot of people saying mujhko moisturizer se oily lagta hai. I mean, then just use less moisturizer. So it could be also the amount that you're using or the kind that you're using for your skin. So moisturizers are not greasy. They should not be greasy. But I would say moisturize your skin twice a day, in the day. And you would be surprised to hear this, that I even advise my clients to apply one layer of moisturizer and then apply the night cream. So please take a note of that. Good moisturizer to use, which is from your kitchen, is cucumber juice. Apply it on the face, dab it with cotton,
and that works excellently as a moisturizer, and especially for those people who don't like any greasy effect with the moisturizer. So, applying moisturizer with a cotton wool which is dabbed in cucumber juice. You take out cucumber extract, just the juice of a cucumber, and use that as a fresh moisturizer. It makes a very good moisturizer without giving you that greasy look. So do try that. Of course, it's a very light moisturizer, but I don't think a heavy moisturizer is necessary. The next process is sunblock, and anything from 25 SPF to 40 SPF is fine. But people who go on to 60 and all for the face is not necessary. Remember one thing, that a lot of people feel we don't need a sunblock because we're not going into the sun. Even if you're sitting in a window which is open where light is coming, the effect of sun will hit you. The most aging thing in the world is sunlight. It is God's gift for life, but in excess, sun is very damaging. So using a sunblock is important. I'm not saying it's necessary. It depends on your lifestyle. If there are people who just don't go out very much, go out in the evenings, it's fine. But if you're stepping out in the day, apply a little bit of sunblock, please. So I'm going to talk now. Your night program will be again cleansing, just as you did in the morning, and the use of a good nourishing cream. Now I will give you a little bit about anti-tan and pigmentation. Pigmentation today in our salons is probably the most common problem. It happens very often, because of hormonal problems. It comes up, at a time when the menopause is appearing. So, dealing with it internally is another issue, but dealing with it externally is our problem. So, pigmentation in India is very common because we have a very, very strong sun. So, wherever the sun is strong, pigmentation is strong. Pigmentation is common, I'm sorry. So, you also find के लेडीज जिनके जैसे लो राउंड नेक के ब्लाउज होते हैं, सो टिपिकली मोर देन एनी कंट्री आई थिंक इन इंडिया वी हैव our backs are quite exposed with the kind of blouses that we wear. So there's very few women are even aware how much of darkening is happening on their back, because when you're walking in markets or wherever you're walking, you find that the sun is hitting your back and your arms. So unfortunately, in a hot country, I have to say this, that if you have pigmentation, जैसे वो झाइयाँ कहते हैं, झाई, तो उस पे it's very important that you wear blouses that are covering your back, and if possible, your blouse can cover your arms also. The best thing is to have an extra piece of clothing which you pull on, which you can take off once you are inside, so that in the hot weather you're not subjected to being covered a lot. So sitting in the car, you need to be very careful. The car is a big problem with people with pigmentation, so you need to take care of that. And I will be giving you several ways to treat it externally. It's very important for you to remove the tan on your skin, and to get its natural glow. So we will be speaking as I go ahead on tanning also. So as a working woman, I would say it is very important for you to make a little kit for yourself every morning, in which you carry in a little bag or something, everything that you will need to, I'm sure you carry your lipstick with you, but carry something that's like a face spray. In that you can have infused rose freshener. Like I explained to you how to make infused rose freshener. You leave the rose petals all night in water, and in the morning you take out its the liquid, put it into a small bottle, add a few drops of glycerine, and take a small spray bottle, keep it in your handbag, keep it in a fridge wherever you are if you can, or have it frozen when you take it along, very cold I mean. And then any time in the day, just spray it on your face. So what it gives you is a layer of moisture, and it also freshens you up. It freshens up. It just doesn't freshen up your soul. I mean, that's not that you feel fresh. It will actually freshen your face. And rose water gives that lovely pink tone, which gives a lovely freshness to the face. So do try that. It's one of my favorite recipes. So now I would like to talk about under eye circles. I think that must be a problem with a lot of you there, because the nature of your work involves correcting copies, reading up books, and a lot of eye strain is there in a teacher's job. So I would like to talk a little bit about under eye circles. Interestingly, you will find a very strange fact which most of us may not be aware of. Why does the skin under the eyes look a different color from the rest of the face? There has to be a reason. If your skin is, some people are very fair or dark, that's not the issue. But the under eye skin will always be a different color. The reason is very simple. For some reason, the under eye area has less oil glands than the rest of the body. It hardly has any oil glands. So it really, whether you put cream on your face or not, you have to take care of your under eyes. You have to make sure that you put an under eye cream morning and night. So this night thing I'm not able to understand. Why just night? Everything that is done should be done both in the morning and the evening. So under eye circles, basically you need to first thing take care of your eye health. Make sure there's less eye strain. Limit your eye strain as much as possible. A good recipe I'm giving you is cucumber slices. Cut cucumber slices, keep them in the fridge and apply them on your eyes. It will calm your eyes, it will refresh your eyes, and it is completely natural and harmless. The other thing is juice. Take out the juice of a potato. A lot of people say put a potato piece, but it never does that kind of contact with the skin because it's so stiff. She's showing you cucumber slices, and this is typically how they need to be. But a good thing to do is to take a little fork, punch it a little bit so that when you have it on your eye, it's giving out, it is leaking out some of the liquid. So potato, it's best to take out the juice of the potato, the liquid. Dip your cotton pad in it, and after you take out the juice, put the potato juice in the fridge, let it be cool, and apply that, and you will find that miraculous. It really lightens the under eye circles. So do try that. Visit your doctor regularly for your eye strain, and there's an exercise, I'm going to show it. Just hold this. So after every hour in school, when you're tired, take the palms of your hands and do this and take it off. What this does is it relaxes the muscles. When you're doing that, the muscles are being held. They are completely relaxed. Your eyes are shut and your eyes feel refreshed. But keeping something like, in a small jar, you keep your little pads of potato juice in the day and apply it. I think that would also help to refresh your eyes. Now we come to oily skin. I don't know what age group I am with, but oily skin is basically with the younger generation. But it's nice to know about it because a lot of you may have children or you may be going through it yourself. So basically, for oily skin, now I would like to go back to dry skin for a moment. We have been getting in our salon, you would not believe it, even 20-year-olds with dry skin. And when we question them, we find that their diet has become very unhealthy. I mean, the amount they cut out oils and everything from their diet, they actually start looking much older. Their skin becomes dehydrated. So, no matter what you're putting on your skin, it's very, very important for you to keep ingesting ghee. There's a very, very big comeback. There's always something that comes up, and everybody is following that for a while, and a new trend. But if you see our grandmothers, they had this most beautiful glowing skins, and they were all on asli ghee. So now they say that saturated fats that have a low burning point, a low transferring point to become trans fats, are more injurious than ghee. So I think having a little bit, a tablespoon or teaspoon of ghee a day is very essential. And if you diet, balance it with your face. Honestly, ladies, and if there are any gents there, I have lost 25 kilos, and the best thing is that I protected, made sure my skin and everything is going. So diets need to be very, very logical. Illogical diets have illogical results. So please look out for that. For oily skin, again, the diet is opposite. You have less greasy food. But remember, oily skins require moisturizer also. But a very, very light moisturizer that does not clog the pores. Cucumber would be very good for oily skins. Because a lot of people with oily skins think that they need to just keep drying their skins. You need to dry it of oil but not of moisture. Regular cleansing is required for oily skins. You need to make sure that you can apply a very, very good pack that works well for oily skins is egg white. Mix it with a little bit of lemon and oats, and apply it on your skin and scrub it off. Make sure that you don't apply it on any pimple that is active, because you don't want to break a pimple. The most important thing about acne is that do not ever break a pimple. A pimple will go away, but a scar will give trouble if it's been pricked, because that becomes an injury. This is a natural happening, a pimple coming and going. So be careful of that. Makeup, I will say that for those people who do not do makeup, you're missing out a lot. We have somebody here, Neha, who's doing young girls' makeup, and you see the transformation. I myself was not recognized once without my makeup. I will be not embarrassed to say that. Just to tell you how important and what a difference it can make. And the importance about makeup is that it should not look like good makeup. Like, nobody should say she's done very nice makeup. It should be that her face is looking very nice. It should blend into your face. And I always feel that there's no room for abstract art in makeup. You have to know it well, you have to learn it, and you have to experiment on your face as though it's a canvas. and you will see that the results. You have to know also what time of the day. There's day makeup, there's night makeup, and there is also this nude makeup where there's no lipstick also. There's foundation on the lipsticks and a little bit of eye makeup. So there can be makeup which looks very mild. I can understand you're a teacher, you wouldn't like to go into a school and look overdone. So my mother and I are both asked. I'll jump to hair now because we are soon waiting for Mrs. Shahnaz Husain, my mother, to come in. So I will just give you some more piece of nuggets on hair. People often ask what you do. I very often say it's more about what we don't do. We don't put hair dye. Now, I know that all of you will say, but I don't. The other option is henna, of course. But a lot of people will say, but henna will give that orange look. So here's my opinion. Start if you can. If it's not too late for you, start with the first grey. If you start with the first greys, the transition is slow and the hair keeps getting blended well. So what we propose, what we suggest to you is something she will show you over here. To make henna, this is a bowl of we have a bowl of beetroot. Do you see the color of beetroot? And you know that if you ever touch beetroot also, look at me touching beetroot and the colors come onto my hand. It has such a... Why do we feel that only henna is colored? Yes, henna is a binding color. But if we can alter its color a little bit, the binding force of henna is there along with the color of the other element. You have beetroot and lemon. And that's all. That's all you need to do. For those of you who complain ke henna ke baad bahut dryness lagti, you are right. Henna does make you feel very dry. So I have used henna now for since the day this is the day I got my first grey hair. All you need to do is wash off the henna on wet hair. That means after the henna is brought off, on your wet hair, apply oil. Like if you're in your bath, just keep your oil bottle there. You wash it off. So this is there are two kinds of henna I'm showing you. This is the colorant henna. This is the colorant henna in which there is only henna, beetroot, coffee powder and lemon. If you want to make it more for conditioning and you're not so bothered about the coloring, then you can add egg. So this is one kind of henna. You can add a little bit of yogurt to this, but believe me, you will never get dryness if you wash off your henna, apply on your wet hair, apply oil and then shampoo it off. There will be none of that stretching in the scalp that you feel with the henna. So that counteracts the effect. This, if you try, makes a beautiful hair dye. Adding beetroot will give you a maroon tint. There is another fashion these days of having a blondish tint. For that you add turmeric powder, haldi powder. So there are these two variations of color that you can do in henna. There is also with us that we have got in our company that we're selling is something called Color Veda. Now Color Veda has indigo. So it does give a black color, but it is a long process to get it on. So this is Color Veda, and I'm showing this to you because this is an option that has come up after instead of henna and hair dye. It's between the two. So again, we talk about falling hair now. I don't know how many people really have that issue. I think a lot of most people's hair that I meet has been damaged with years and years and years of hair dye. Just applying a chemical to the scalp daily. I know making the transition will be difficult, but there is no other way to look for a healthy option. Thank you so much. I have to wrap up now and welcome my mother who is here with us.
Thank you, Neelofar ji. That was a scintillating session. I would now like to welcome amongst us iconic Padma Shri Shahnaz Husain ji. Shahnaz ji is a globally renowned pioneer of Ayurvedic beauty care, celebrated for revolutionizing the natural skincare and hair care industry. Founder of the Shahnaz Husain Group, she has built a legacy rooted in herbal wellness and holistic beauty. First, she was a case study and now a subject in Harvard Business School Emerging Markets. I also request our founders, Tina Vachani ji and Rakesh Gupta ji, along with Mr. Ravi Vachani, to please welcome Padma Shri Shahnaz Husain. Shahnaz ji, we welcome you to our studio. Teachers, students, principals from across India have been waiting to see you and welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, Shahnaz ji will talk to you about her inspiring life journey.
Hello, I'm supposed to talk on my life. How I created the brand. It's very hard to tell you the story of how I created the brand. Take you a couple of days. I'll try and make it short. I was engaged when I was 14, married when I was 15. At 16, my daughter was 1 year old. But I wasn't able to accept my lifestyle. I was not made to be a mother and a housewife. So I was thinking what I was supposed to do. Then I told my father, I said, "You got me married so early." I was only 7th standard pass when I got married. So my father said, "Okay, you educate yourself." So I had a problem. I said, "Where do I go? What to do?" By then my husband was posted to Iran. There I thought I will earn money to educate myself. And I was wondering what to do because I didn't know Iranian. Then one day there was a job across the road to teach English. So I applied for the job and I got the answer. I was 100% sure I'd get it because I was into Shakespeare and Keats as opposed to teach English. So next day I got a call that you can't get the job. You're not a graduate. So I cried and cried and cried, and then I said, now what to do? Then I was at a party one day and I met a British lady. She said, we're starting a new magazine called the Iran Tribune. Can you write English articles for it on beauty? I said, fine. In those days I was writing for Femina. So I started writing. In short, I was writing the magazine cover to cover. In every topic they asked me in a different name. And finally, I was charging for every article. Finally, I earned enough money to send the fees to all the schools that I wanted to. And then I started studying. I went to every school, everywhere that I could imagine. But to earn and stay there was a situation where I needed to write so that I earn money to pay various expenses. So I started writing for these magazines, and then I got a letter from the editor saying, "Your writing is so bad. Either stop writing or start typing." So then again I started crying. I said, "Now I can't type." In those days that had olden typewriter, Remington, very old. So I used to type with that. And because I didn't know typing, I used to type with one finger. My finger became very sore, and I used to clear it with Dettol and apply Band-Aid and go on typing. Then when it became very bad, people wouldn't shake hands with me. They thought I had an infectious disease because I had this bandage on my finger. Then one day it became very bad, and the ambassador told me, "You go to a Russian doctor, he'll give you a cure for your finger. He's a dermatologist." So I went to see him, and he said that, "What do you do?" I said, "Doctor, I type." He saw my finger, and he said that, "Well, you can't type." I said, "But I can't stop typing." He said, "It'll be perfect, but unless you stop, you will never be cured." I said, "I can't stop." So he said, "If you don't stop typing, I'll have to cut off your finger." So I went into thinking mode. I said, "Now what to do? I have to type. I can't type." So I kept looking at my finger. The doctor said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Doctor, how much will you cut?" I thought even if he cuts off, I still have a part of the finger left. But I couldn't stop. He said, "What? You're prepared to cut off your finger and not stop typing?" I said, "No." He said, "I'm sorry, I can't treat you." So I ran out of the clinic crying and came home. In short, I was typing 3 years later. I earned so much money that I paid for all my fees all over the world and had so much money left with me that I could not bring it back to India. But my husband be questioned, how was so much money? There was no account for it. So I left it with a friend from Pan American Airways who still has it. I couldn't bring that money back. I bought carpets, I bought gold, but I could not spend the money. I earned so much money just from writing articles. It was the only English language weekly in Iran. I came back to India. I said, "Okay, now I'm going to start my own clinic." I started one, the franchise clinic, and gradually the business grew. And then we finally had the largest herbal chain of our kind in the world. I think life it's not important what you want. What really matters is how badly you want it. I remember while I was working, I was asked whether I would go and lecture in Harvard. I said, "Why should I lecture in Harvard? I'm not into this kind of work." And they said that the professor from Harvard has come to India. He wants to meet you. I said, "Fine." I met him. I said, "What is the problem?" He said, "We teach at Harvard that whatever you launch, you have to put aside so much money for publicity. You violate every norm we teach at Harvard. So we want you to come and lecture." So anyway, I did not go then. But then Obama had this award of the world's greatest woman entrepreneur. And they asked me if I could come because they'd given me the award from India. Then I went to Harvard. I went and took the award and came back. And the lecture was only in how to create a brand without publicity. Then I got a call from MIT. I did the same with MIT. I lectured on how to create a brand and came back. After that, I started thinking that now, no lecturing. I've told the world what I've done. I must get on with my work. So now, we've created a brand that treats problems. There's a reason for that too. I remember when I was in school in London, one of my friends used to bring her mother every day and make her sit outside. I said, let her come inside. Oh, she's my mother. Was to a model. I said, so why can't she come inside? And she said that uh, she used to be a model, then she burnt her face and her eyes. I said, why? He said, she said that she used an eye makeup that reacted. She got allergy and she get finally blurred in the eyes. And the doctor said it's an allergy. And gradually she lost her eyes. She became blind. So I thought, if a woman can go blind with a beauty business, there's something wrong with the business. And I came back to India and started creating a brand with plants. And that is where the story started. I would like to say here that today I am a subject at Harvard. It's called Shahnaz Husain Emerging Markets, where I created a brand without publicity. I always think that if I create something and put an ad in the papers, buy it is very good. It may not be good, I've paid for it. Word of mouth was important. So over a period of time, the product caught on. But I never advertised. I think that it's very, very important for women to educate themselves in any line they want. हम अपनी ज़बान में कह रहे हैं कि हम कभी नहीं सोचते कि औरतों को इतना अनक्वालिफाइड होना चाहिए वो कि उनको कभी किसी आदमी के सामने हाथ ना फैलाना पड़े. You never tell your husband, I need that money. You must earn it yourself. For that, you need any skill, whatever you like. But you must not ever be in a situation where you can't earn at the time of need. That is a very, very important thing in all your lives. Never depend for money on anybody, including your husband. I was brought up, my mother had tuberculosis when she was in the house. So my father put us both in the boarding. We were going to a Christian boarding school. And I'll never forget, everybody used to go to church and the two of us were Muslims, so my sister and I used to sleep all day. And then the mother superior wrote to daddy, the dear Justice Beg, the whole school goes to church and your two girls are sleeping. Can you please send them somebody to teach them your religion? Islam. They know no religion. My father wrote back, dear Mother Superior, since my children know no religion, I'd be very grateful if you taught them your religion. So I went to church for 10 years. That was the attitude that I was trained for. I really feel there's one spiritual power that moves the universe, that is God. By what name you call him doesn't matter. It is that spiritual power. That's what Daddy told me. And I think that I was brought up with that belief. So I started my business and he was very worried that he got me married so early and then I had no qualification. So when I had done 8 countries and come back, I put all my diplomas on one table and said, Daddy, are you happy now? He said, yes, it's okay, but he became quiet. I said, something worrying. He said, I'm happy, but there's a cause of concern. I said, Daddy, there's no school in the world that I've not done. London, Paris, Germany, Denmark, US. He said, you've done so much for this world. You're doing very well, I can see that. But in this world, you're very temporary. You do very well in this world. What about the permanent world where you'd be? Are you doing anything for that? And I was 20 plus and I thought, oh, Daddy, I can wait. He said, no, don't wait. Start now. I started worrying, what's the problem? He said, get me a torch. I thought, I'm so young, I'll do social service afterwards. He sent for a torch, put it on. He said, baby, the light is very bright. I said, yes. He said, you switch it on, it'll come on. I said, yes. He said, but there can be a mechanical failure. You switch it on, It won't come off. That means the torch is off. I said, yes. He said, don't wait, start now. And that is the day I started the blind school and the deaf and dumb. So Daddy said, now promote it so that people come to you for it. It's a free school. So I said, Daddy, why don't you... उस ज़माने में ज्ञानी ज़ैल सिंह was the president of India. So he said that I'll call him for the inauguration. I said, call everybody from India. It's a free school for deaf, dumb and blind. So I went to invite him. He said, yes, I'll come and inaugurate. I said, if he comes, there'll be so much publicity. Anyone who's deaf, dumb or blind will come. So he said, yes, and I finally started sending out cards. Then there was a call saying that my PR officer said that because you're in the business, but the president coming to your house for your work, I'll be promoting your business. So I'm sorry, I can't come. So I got a shock because I'd given out all the cards. So he said, can you come to my office? I'll explain to you. So I went back to the office. I said, ज्ञानी ज़ैल सिंह साहब, आपने पहले हाँ कहा तो हमने कार्ड बांट दिया. आपने मना किया कि आप प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैं, आप बादशाह हैं, तो आप नहीं आ सकते. कि जी हाँ, बिल्कुल ठीक. कोई बात नहीं, आप इस दुनिया में बादशाही कर लीजिए, हम अपना काम तो संभाल लेंगे. और जिस दुनिया में आप बादशाह नहीं होंगे, ये तो टेम्प्रेरी दुनिया है, यहाँ आपने मना कर दिया, कोई बात नहीं. जब खुदा के सामने जाएंगे, जहाँ आप खुदा जवाब देना पड़ेगा, किसी बेसहारे को आपने सहारा नहीं दिया, तो ज़मीन से अंगारे निकलेंगे, उसमें से चीखने की आवाज़ आएगी कि एक बादशाह ने अंधों का सहारा नहीं दिया. थैंक यू. केम होम. बाय द टाइम आई केम होम, देयर वर 10 कॉल्स फ्रॉम राष्ट्रपति भवन. बोल दो मैं आऊँगा. एंड ही केम, एंड दैट इज़ द लॉन्च of my social and charity program. Today, my life, great love, is deaf, dumb, and most important, the blind. You know, there's a blind boy in my school, and I said, his name is Vivek. I said, Vivek, तुम्हारा शर्ट बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है. कहने कौन रंग का है? हमने कहा आसमानी. तो कहने आसमान क्या होता है? तो कहा आसमान, आसमान का रंग. कहे मैम, मैंने कभी आसमान नहीं देखा. If you see the blind, your heart will break. So, no matter how good you are in business, so what? It's a temporary world. You must do something for life in a spiritual way. So I think everyone who is in business or any work must also do some social service.
Thank you, Shahnaz Husain ji. We're now going to request Shahnaz Husain ji to pick the winners of the gift hampers that we are going to give away today. I'll start announcing. We've got Khushbu from Government Girls Senior Secondary School, MS Gate, Shivala. We've got Dr. Shweta Sharma from Bihta Kendriya Vidyalaya. Navneet Kaur, Minority School, Punjab. Actually, it's Moratorious School, Punjab. Then we've got Swati Patel, Jawahar Navodayalaya, Tehri Garhwal. We've got Kanchan Rani from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Hamhama. Ompal Singh Saini from Government High School, Dada Jalalpur, Punjab. Ashtata Kendriya Vidyalaya Base, Kochi. Jyoti Chauhan, Government Senior Secondary School, AMB. Madhav Chandra, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Adur. Shobha Serene, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort Williams. Subhash Chandar, Government High School, Uvadini, Punjab. We've got Pushpa Thakur, Government Middle School, Manali. Meenakshi Agarwal, MCPPS, Jammu and Kashmir Block, Lakshmi Nagar. We've got Tajinder Kaur, Government Senior Secondary School, Nangal, Sirsa. Dr. Vidya Prakash, Army Public School, Hempur, Uttarakhand. Ritu Sharma, Government Moratorious School, Sector 70, Mohali. We've got named Shivani from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Manavi, Prayagraj. Karanjit Kaur from Government Senior Secondary School, Dala. We've got 3 more to go for the gift hampers and 1 diploma winner. These are the 3. Monica Wadhwa, Mandi Gobindgarh, Fatehgarh Sahib, Punjab. Karamjeet Kaur, Government Senior Secondary School, Ludhiana. And the last one in this is Manjeet Kaur, Government High School, Chandiani, Khurd. And now, Shahnaz ji, I would request you to pull out 1 lucky participant who's the winner of the professional diploma course, which is worth rupees 1 lakh, to be held in Delhi. Thank you. This is Anushri Dubey from KV Manwain, Prayagraj. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shahnaz ji. We're so honored that you graced us today. Thank you, Neelofar ji, for that lovely session. It was so helpful for everyone. And thank you, our educators, principals, teachers, and the lovely students who joined us today and made this session so meaningful. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Roots to Roots, I'd like to thank everybody who made this session possible.